Good morning, I'm Mabel Jung, and you're watching continuing coverage of the World Healthcare Congress. We're at day one of the event, and I'm so pleased to have with me in the interview zone Mr. Steve Forbes, who is chairman and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media. Good morning.
Good to be with you, Mabel. Thank you.
Well, it's great to see you, and as many people know, you've been writing about healthcare for decades. And here we are, year 5 of the Accountable Care Act. Is it achieving some of the ideas that you've always set forth as being very important?
I think what the Affordable Care Act ended up doing was doubling down on the old system. And but inadvertently, what it is doing is creating an opportunity for genuine patient control of health care. The complexity of the exchanges, the narrow choices you have with a lot of the plans on the exchanges, trying to figure out next year's income, so what subsidies you might be eligible for. All of that is creating labor market disruptions. I think is creating an environment where the consumers are truly going to be in charge. You're going to see, I think, explosive growth in medical savings accounts, vouchers, where you make the choice in the marketplace rather than an employer make the choice. More and more apps coming along, giving you more information, who's good in quality, who isn't. All of these metrics that we take for granted in other parts of the marketplace, I think are coming to healthcare. So not too comedic. I say just don't get sick for the next 3 years while we sort this thing out.
Exactly. I think that's wise advice. Now, you've always advocated for more transparency, so we are headed in that direction. You believe that we're
absolutely
know more about what things cost?
Yes, and it's amazing that you'd have to fight to find out what something truly costs, or institutions have to spend time. What does this really cost, instead of just seeing it as a pot? You have to meet a certain goal, and so you get some for this, some from that.
Yes.
They don't do the kind of pricing you'd see in other parts of the economy.
What do you think is not working so well? There's progress being made, certainly, but there's also minefields here and there where there's almost too much information. How do you sift out what's not so important in favor of what's important to get the care you need?
Well, I think this is where consumerism is going to be essential. The consumer still isn't in charge of health care. It's still all third parties. Companies know the real customer is the insurance company. You are the patient, are not the customer. It's the third party, government, Medicare, Medicaid, the insurer. And so as we begin to get more and more consumer power, the pressure of that will bring about more transparency. So I know you are the customer, therefore I have to give you the information, and therefore I'll find that information. And there are apps coming along. Castlight is a company that provides a lot of information. Monocle is another new one, providing even more information in terms of effectiveness of physicians in treating certain kinds of diseases. So it's in the beginning stages, but it's for real.
Okay, well now I want to talk about your new book, Money, How the Destruction of the Dollar Threatens the Global Economy and What We Can Do About It. That's a heavy title. Give me a breakdown of what some of the takeaways you want people to have from this book.
Well, the volatile dollar being like a yo-yo on a roller coaster has been very, very disruptive. It's hurt investment. It'd be as if the clock changed the number of minutes in an hour each day. You know, you bake a cake, it says bake the cake 40 minutes. Is that inflation-adjusted minutes, nominal minutes? Is it a Florida minute, a Washington minute? So we need stability. And eventually I think we'll go to a gold standard, which we had for the first 180 years of this country's existence. But the kind of suppression of interest rates and the like has hurt economic growth here and overseas. Bad stuff.
What is that going to do with the trade deficits we will have with other countries? How will that be impacted?
Well, I think what you'll get is when you have stable currencies is you'll get natural trade flows. We focus on merchandise and services, but also you have capital flows. I think we'll see much smoother capital markets evolve. This country, for example, the U.S. has had trade deficits for most of its existence, but it's also had massive capital inflows of people investing in this country. So I think when you have stable money, those things will work their way out, and we won't get the artificial distortions today where suddenly something goes down 50% in price, not because of productivity, but because of volatility in the exchange markets. It's crazy.
It is. Well, it's always a pleasure to speak with you, Steve. It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much. And I'm Mabel Jung. Thanks for watching.